the reason that I called this service "'Tis the Season" is it really is the season. Festivals abound. And for those of you who are familiar with St. Nicholas, St. Nicholas was honored this past Tuesday and Wednesday. And I do remember distinctly being in the Netherlands, and they have a tradition there called Sinterklaas. And its pure focus is on children. And I know this because basically for an entire day, the only music that you'll hear on any radio station or coming from any shop is the sound of children's voices singing, which is rather lovely. And I didn't understand it in its fullness until I dug a little deeper and realized, okay, Sinterklaas is actually St. Nicholas, who, as you may or may not know, is the patron saint of children. And he's also the patron saint of those who are in need, children and young people and those who are in need. And I thought to myself, well, how best to take a pause for a moment. And in the same way that we lit the 3 candles for Hanukkah, I thought, how lovely if I could bring in 3 lights in and of themselves, young children to whom we can give and receive gifts. My brief to them was, how do you want to show up in the world? What gift do you want to bring the world in your life as it's laid out ahead of you? And then I said to them, and then what gift can we as your elders give you? So that was their brief. They wanted to join me in person, but unfortunately, with the risk of load shedding today, we didn't want to risk it. So 2 of them made a recording, and I'm going to start off with Zakia, first of all. John's going to play her recording in a moment. So just remember that their motivation is to talk about gifts from and to them. And I just wanted to read to you what Zakia said to me about her. She is obviously, all 3 of these are graduates of the youth program that I run. And Zakia is 15, almost 16. She, when I said, how would you like me to introduce yourself? She said, I don't know, except please tell them that I like chess. And I said, I would indeed. And also table tennis, chess and table tennis. But I also said, Zakia, I have to also honor that you're a daughter, you're a sister, you're a student who's just completed grade 10. The academic year in South Africa ends in December. She's a beautiful artist as well. She's incredible. She's an activist, she's Muslim, and these are her words to you today.
My name is Zakia Chikte, grade 10, and I'm at Rylands High School. What gift I would like to give to the world would be to prove and show that unity is possible, not only with regards to people with different religions, but different nations, cultures. And I would also give my skills, experiences, and my understanding of different people, because everyone has their own view and own opinion when it comes to different people who are different from them. And some of those opinions can be very negative, but it's always best to look at the positive than the negative side of them. What do I want to receive from the world? So I would want to receive recognition, not only as a person, but as someone who took part in an organization that deals with peace and that actually took actions towards peace. And I would also like to receive a peace of mind, knowing that no one will be judged due to their race or religion, and that no common stereotype will be created because of that. What can our predecessors give us? Well, they can give us advice and tips that'll help us throughout our journey. They could also help us seize opportunities so that our voices can be heard by others, such as this video that is that will be shown. And they can also provide us with their stories and their experiences throughout their life, even with their daily jobs. And they could also listen to our stories and our experiences, because to have a conversation you need two people to talk, and when you talk to someone else you understand them, and you create an understanding and a bond together that sometimes may never end. As the younger generation, we need someone who can guide and teach us, who can listen to us, and who can be our friend or our brother or sister that we never had. Thank you. Hi everyone, my name is Zakia Chikte.
Out of the mouths of babes and children. So gorgeous. I'm so sad because my next guest was supposed to be Mbali. She was insistent that she didn't want to record. She wanted to join you. She wanted to meet you. She lives in Guguletu, which is one of the townships here. She identifies as a Christian Jew. How about that? But she says, I'm a Christian Jew while also learning to become more of an African traditional practitioner. So for that reason alone, I thought, how lovely would it be for her to join? She was an amazing part of the youth program that we ran. But unfortunately, just about half an hour before we were about to go online, I heard that her father's seriously ill and that he's been taken to hospital. So I said that we would pray for her at the end. And I said, maybe next year we can make room for you to listen, because she's an extraordinary young lady. She also wanted to share a prayer in Xhosa with you, so I think you'll enjoy that. So now instead we'll have to go to Aidan. Aidan is also a graduate. He comes from a Christian background. He lives in an area probably about 20 minutes from me, and he went to a school that participates in the program. And I said, Aidan, if I'm going to introduce you, how can I introduce you? He said, Mom, they call you Mom here, which is hilarious. He said, Mom, just call me Aidan the Peacemaker. So there we go. Aidan the Peacemaker.
Morning all, I'm Aidan Alex from Cape Town, South Africa. And when Pippa first told me about this theme, an event that she has in America, I immediately grown into it, and I thought to myself that I would want to say something here, and I would want to put in my input. And when I realized it was about giving and the importance thereof, and the importance of giving for me is knowing that you can help the next person, and that you can put a smile on their face, and that they can be. And like Nelson Mandela once said, there is no greater gift than giving the next person your time, your energy, just to make them smile, just to give them that happiness without expecting anything in return. And what would I want to give to you today is a sense of belonging, is a sense of compassion, it's a sense of love and of caringness, and that no matter what you go through, there will always be someone to help you and to guide you and to give you that gift of love. And I believe in making a difference. And how do we make a difference? It's in making a change within yourself. And in order for you to be, in order for you to change, in order for you to want someone to change, you need to first be changed. You need to first be moved before you can go and move someone else. So it starts with you. Don't only share what you have, but also share who you are. And I would want to leave you with that. Thank you.
So to them and all of their peers, happy St. Nicholas Day. And thank you for the gift that you brought for us today. And may we live up to your aspirations and dreams and goals for the future. And may we be supporters of you all. They're going to watch this retroactively. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And now just to bookend this theme, I'm going to ask Terry to share a few words because she can give a beautiful context to what's coming next. Thank you, Terry. If your vocal cords are up to it.
I hope so. Can you hear me? Yes. Okay, cool. So fascinating. When I was in elementary school, I had a music teacher from 4th grade through 8th grade. I was raised Catholic. I went to Catholic school. So at the time, she was Sister Noli. She's since left the convent, but we have stayed in touch all these many, many years. And I was telling her about the concert last night, which was poetry and music. She's a poet. She's actually the granddaughter of Joyce Kilmer. And she sent me this poem. And I shared it with Pippa, but Pippa didn't know the context of the multi-generations that was impacting this poem. So I'm going to begin. Is that all right? From Noli. She's not the author, however. We need to teach the children the old words. Words like brabble and grubble, twitterlight and clinker bell. Words which dance and trip and slip and drip like honey off the tongue.
Teach them that a hazy halo of cloud around the moon is called a moon brooch, and that swiftly moving clouds are named Caries. How a vixen's wedding is a sunny shower of rain, and that a single sunbeam breaking through thick cloud is known as a messenger.
Teach them to know the seasons and scents of Queen of the Meadow and Bride of the Sun. How to tell Jupiter's staff from fairy fingers, and which roses bloom with the strawberry moon.
Teach them to spot pricklebacks in the tottle grass, how to recognize a Smurz or a Bishop Barnaby, when to watch the sky for flittermice and yaffles, and to pay attention to the Dumbledore and Mouse Arnicle as she graces the lazy leers of summer.
Teach them a few of the old Sussex words for mud, like grubber and slub and stodge and pug, so that they know that the precious soil beneath their toes is anything but worthless dirt.
Teach them to be users and keepers and makers of the words which bring the land alive. A storybook where everything has its rightful place, including us, where the wilds are fearful and filled with magic, and people do noble things, and nothing is impossible.
In this world of harsh new words, words like planetary dysmorphia and solistagla, extinction debt and grief mitigation, mega drought and mega fire, anthropogenic, pyrocene, words which alarm and get stuck in our throats, describing a world which our hearts cannot grasp.
We need to teach the children the old words, so that if they feel lost, the old words might color for them a warm and breathing, living map, a light to guide them safely home. Thank you, Terry. This will be my final service with you that I'm leading, at least, of 2023. And I knew that I probably wouldn't have time to have either a deeper teaching or a sermon per se, but at least wanted to offer you a reflection and in some ways a tying up of the themes of this year. In the past few days, excuse me, I've looked back over 2023 and looking as objectively as I can at all the things that have happened in my life and in the world, the choices I have made, the opportunities that have crossed my path, the losses, the lessons. I've read through all of the messages that I've shared with you in our services together this year, and I can see some threads of continuity and connectedness. And I wanted to draw those together as a final offering for you for this year. And rather poetically, they're the same messages of this season. At least that's how I've interpreted it, many of them. And there's three major ones that have sort of risen to the top. And I want to just pause very quickly. Light, hope, and peace. If we look at light first, as we mentioned earlier at the time of Advent, we are literally month by month, through the month, Sunday by Sunday, literally creating a path of light towards hope and new beginnings. And we create it for ourselves, obviously, as we move forward. But of course, we're also leaving a trail of light behind us for others to find their way too. And let us never forget, in fact, that there are others behind us on the path, especially the young. Let us learn from them. They have insight. They have a different perspective, an interesting one. And of course, as you probably know, if you have grandchildren or are around teenagers at the moment for any reason, they have their own language too. I was very tickled to find that the Oxford word of the year, I'm sure many of you know this, is riz. Which, if we were to translate it into old people speak, it means charm or seduce. You know, you can riz someone by accident, or you can riz someone intentionally as you make your way through life. And I thought to myself, well, in a way, riz is a form of a gift of love and connection, and a reminder that we are interconnected and that we have the capacity to bring charm and light and love to one another. The second theme that I picked out was that of hope. And I have to say, it's not lost on me that as I was looking through the nativity story for this year and thinking about its place in my service with you today, that Bethlehem, of course, is in the heart of the Christian nativity story. And of course, it's also in Palestine, in the West Bank. And as we know the story very well, it's one of displacement. Joseph and Mary having nowhere to go, running to protect their child that is soon to be born, moving for safety, looking for shelter. And after being turned down and turned down and turned away, of course, it is the hospitality of one who changes everything. That innkeeper, I often wonder what he or she must have been like. But hospitality nevertheless. And all of these themes are themes that we see in the world unfolding, and we're grappling with ourselves day in and day out to make sense of it all. And then, of course, there were those visitors to that stable, and that captures my imagination completely. Those who had heard the messages given them, and they believed in hope. Some of them had traveled very far, in fact, in days when, of course, there is no public transport. And in the departing to go and follow these messages, I'm sure that there were those around them who thought they were utterly mad. You want to do what? You want to give that as a gift to someone you don't know who's just been born? What are you, out of your mind? Nevertheless, they made great effort to bring those gifts, which are of love, respect, honoring, and promise. They saw the future and they acted on it. And of course, in people like Zakia Mbali, who you haven't met yet, but I hope that you do, and Aidan, I see the future. And I ask myself so very often, what gifts do I want to bring them? And finally, peace. Something that we've talked a lot about this year. And in the time of Jesus, the native language spoken amongst his people in his district and area was, of course, Aramaic. And in Aramaic, and I'm sure, Anne, you're going to resonate with this because I know you and Nick have been doing deep study around this. The word for peace in Aramaic is shlomo. And English, peace, of course, is a noun. But in Aramaic, it's also a verb. And this year we've spoken at length about waging peace. And what exactly is peace? Is it an absence of war? Is it silence? I've come to believe at this juncture in my life that it's so much more than that. I've come to believe that peace is actually a condition and a way of being. If I mention this name, it may be familiar to some of you, Byron Katie, who's a wonderful writer, inspirational writer, teacher. She's advanced in years. I was surprised to find out that she's 81, because for me, she's sort of been in the backdrop of my life for many years now. And this is her quote and her question to us that I want to leave with you. Have I been at war with someone in my life today? Openly or in my thoughts? Have I been at war with myself? Because if I can't find peace within myself, how can I expect the rest of the world to be at peace? So let me work on that. That way, war is ending somewhere in the world. Thank you, Byron. So in closing, let me say that here in December, we find ourselves inside both a sacred season and also standing on a bridge between what has been and what is to come. May we light the path for ourselves and others. May we be spurred on and motivated by hope. And may we peace ourselves. I'm using it as a verb now. May we peace ourselves so that we might peace our children and the next generations, that we might peace our environment and peace our communities, knowing that we don't do it alone. I wonder, as you listen to that song by Nick Cave at the beginning, I Am Beside You, I wonder who you felt was saying those words to you. One of the interpretations that I've had as I've sat and lived with this song for the past few days is that life, spirit, love, community, these are the things that feel beside me, holding me. And one of my favorite prayers from the Old Testament that comes from the Proverbs is, all around us are the everlasting arms. I wish you peace. I wish you hope. I wish you love. In this time of remembrance and preparation for that which is to come. Thank you all.
If you like this video, please like us on YouTube, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and click on the bell to be notified whenever we post a new video. Thank you.